Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Well, the story has broken that the Tampa Bay Rays and Patrick Zalupski, who is a developer in Jacksonville, Florida, have signed a letter of intent to sell the team. Even the Rays have acknowledged it, releasing a statement, but not talking beyond the statement that was released. I get it. I understand. And who knows? Zalupski's group might not get the team. And it is a group that includes some investors from the Tampa Bay area. So, again, this team is not going to be moving to Jacksonville. It's going to stay in the Tampa Bay area. Major League Baseball wants to stay in the Tampa area. It's the 11th largest television market in the country. They're not going to abandon it. They've obviously got to solve a stadium issue, which could be resolved in the short term by fixing Tropicana Field, and the city of St. Petersburg has agreed to do that. But the bigger question is, how long will it take for a sale to actually transpire? Because there are many items on the checklist. How complex is the deal? Due diligence is involved. Then there's the negotiation. Then there's the approval by the owner. So let's take a look at each one. Let's try to break it down. Let's begin with the purchase itself, because right now we know that Zalupski is the lead person in this deal. He's a Jacksonville, Florida developer, but there are other people involved, and apparently many of them are from the Tampa Bay area. One of them is involved in minor league baseball. So Major League Baseball is going to have to investigate each and every one of these. They are going to do a thorough investigation on the background of all the people involved, not only from a character standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint. Can they afford to own a Major League Baseball team? We're not talking about the old days here. We're not talking about the days when Bill Veeck was able to buy a baseball team as he bought the Chicago White Sox on a dime and got approved by the Major League Baseball owners at the baseball winter meetings. I mean, that transaction went bang, bang, bang. Or when the Yankees were sold by Dan Topping and Del Webb to CBS, they announced the deal in August and it was approved by November. We're not talking about that kind of a deal. It now takes time. This is a different era. Billions of dollars are involved. And that's a big, big issue. So they're going to have to do their due diligence, the background checks, the finances. Can they afford, as a group, to own a Major League Baseball team? How legit is the money? All of this, baseball will need to do its due diligence. And then they have to negotiate an agreement. It's one thing to sign a letter of intent and say your price is going to be $1.7 billion. And of course, the higher the price, the greater the value of the other Major League Baseball franchises, obviously. But they're going to have to come to a hard and fast deal that goes beyond a letter of intent. So that's a process. I mean, all of this takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And then the owners get together, and after all of this investigation has taken place, and it's thorough, I'm talking about books of information that are yay thick. After all of this, it'll be put before the Major League Baseball owners for a vote. And we'll see if it passes, and we'll see if it's Zalupski who gets the team. So how long are we talking about, Dan? How long could this take? Well, middle of June. Could be as short a time as the end of the year, depending on a tax situation, what's involved with taxes, what you want to do, what you want to get done before the end of 2025, or would it be more beneficial to extend it into 2026? So that's one of the many reasons. It could be a year from now. It could be a year from now, maybe even longer, before Sternberg sells the Tampa Bay Rays. I don't see it happening before the end of the year. Maybe it's done at the baseball winter meetings in December after all of the due diligence on the prospective owners has taken place. And again, remember, this group might not even get the team. Another group might come forward and say, hey, we want in, we'll pay more. So nothing is binding here on this LOI that was signed between Zalupski and Sternberg. There is still a lot which needs to be done before the Tampa Bay Rays are sold. Now, the owners would like to put it on a fast track, obviously, because as I said the other day, they want this team sold. They want that stadium issue settled so they can expand. But I don't think Major League Baseball is going to add 2 more teams until after they come to a deal with the Players Association on a new agreement. And the current agreement expires after the 2026 season. And I think at this juncture, owners might want to use the additional 2 teams as a bargaining chip to say, look, your Players Association is going to expand even more if we add 2 more teams. I think they're going to hold back. I think at one point they wanted to add 2 more teams, maybe a couple of years ago after they reached that current deal with the Players Association, because it would have meant an additional $4 billion for the owners to divvy up $2 billion for each team. I don't think they're in as much of a hurry now. They want to settle the athletics stadium situation. They want to settle the Tampa Bay Stadium situation. The A's situation is seemingly settled, although there are still doubters out there. I maintain they're going to be playing baseball in Las Vegas, and these influencers are still going to be cutting pieces on YouTube and their channel saying it's not going to happen. The A's are not going to play in Las Vegas. What you're seeing is a mirage. That's what I maintain. But the athletic situation ostensibly is settled, and now they're working on Tampa Bay. So when will the sale transpire? I think at the earliest, at the end of 2025, at the earliest, and more than likely not well until next year. And you will not see baseball expansion until after the owners and the Players Association come to a deal on a new contract, a new working agreement. We shall see, but that's the background, that's the process, and I'm sure there's a lot more that's involved. I just gave you the highlights. There's probably a lot more involved, but just the thorough investigation undertaken by baseball to make sure that this is a legitimate group, that in itself takes time. So don't expect anything to change with the Tampa Bay Rays anytime soon, other than they're playing great baseball and are in the thick of the American League East race. That's going to do it for Dan on Sports. See you later.